Here are 5 things wine and spirits distributors will not say to your face. When it comes to dealing with wine and spirits wholesalers, one thing is crystal clear. The capabilities of these distributors has changed a lot in the last 5 or 6 years. They simply cannot do what they used to be able to do. This isn't a function of motivation or will, it's just the reality, and that is that there's way too many brands and way too few distributors. So I'm going to tell you what the distributors won't say to your face. The first thing that wine and spirits distributors will not say to your face is that you're only one of 10,000 plus brands in their portfolio. In many cases, it's far more than 10,000. It's more like 20,000 or 25,000. The truth is they're completely overwhelmed by the size of their own portfolio. This doesn't matter if they're small, medium, or large distributors. The problem is the ratio of brands to salespeople is just ridiculously out of whack. And they're not going to come out and tell you this. It's pretty shocking how many suppliers are oblivious to this. They treat their relationship with wine and spirits wholesalers the same way they did many years ago when this wasn't such a problem. There was a time when distributors could masterfully handle all of the brands in their portfolio, but those days are gone. And you're going to have to figure it out yourself because they're not going to say it to your face. Let's look at some hard numbers. I recently went on 750 and I inspected the portfolio of one of the big mega distributors in Texas. And we're talking on the spirit side here for just a second. It's even worse, far worse on the wine side. We're talking about 7 different selling divisions, 579 suppliers, 3,700 producers, and 21,800 brands in Texas. How much time do you think they're going to have for your brand? I'll tell you how much time. None. So you've got to accept this reality, and they're not going to say it to your face. You're just one of thousands and thousands of brands. The second thing wine distributors will not say to your face is the best we can do is match your efforts. Now, this is a real shock for most people, but it's the reality, and I'm doing you a huge favor by cluing you in because they're not going to tell you. Distributors like to help suppliers who help themselves. They want to see you and your team out in the market doing your bit. You might think, well, this is the distributor's job. That's what we're paying for. That's why they get their big margin. Well, you know what? There was a time when that was true. But no matter how much you think it's their job, they just can't do it. They're overwhelmed. So they're going to take whatever time they've got and they're going to funnel it towards the people who are helping them, who are in the market, whose footprints are all over the market. So if your footprints aren't all over the market, or someone from your team, don't expect the distributor to get out there and sell for you. It's just not part of the new reality. They're not going to tell you to your face, but I'll telling you right now, the sooner you accept this, the better. The third thing wine and spirits distributors will not say to your face is we are not an extension of your sales team. They want to say it. Believe me, they want to say it, but they won't. You're going to have to figure that out. If you have 0 salespeople and you think, hey, now I've got distributors in this state, this state, this state, and now they can go out and sell for me, boy, are you delusional. You really don't have a grasp of what's really going on out there. The days of distributors being able to build lots of sales and distribution for you are long gone. We've already said why. Too many brands, not enough distributors. The burden has shifted back to the supplier. There was a time when this was true. And I think that's really the snag here. It's like the longer you've been in the business, the harder this reality is to accept. Because there was a time, decades upon decades upon decades, where you could partner with a distributor, educate the distributor, work with the distributor, and they would in turn go out and sell for you. But those days are gone. You got to accept it. They're not going to tell you to your face. So here's your new mantra. Your new mantra is, if it's important to me, I'm going to have to do it myself. The fourth thing wine and spirits wholesalers will not say to your face is more training and education does not mean more sales for you. Go to winejobs.com or BevForce. Look at the typical job description. Look at the bullet points of what the job requires, and you will see things like train the distributor on our portfolio, educate the distributor on our products, all these kind of things. Here's the reality, though. And, you know, I've sat in distributor sales meetings more years than I can count. And typically what happens, it's a long parade of supplier after supplier after supplier. They're just literally brain dead by the end of the day. They're not going to remember anything you say. The typical general sales meeting, getting in front of the distributor sales force, it's really changed a lot. It's not like it used to be. It's not really very productive. It's kind of a dog and pony show. It's kind of a farce. It's kind of a way to please the suppliers and say, well, we let you in front of our sales team, so I'm sorry we're not selling any of your products. We let you talk to them. You got to pick up on this on your own. They're not going to tell you. So you're going to have to adjust the way you get this information to the sales team. Because I'm not saying don't make your product information available to the sales team. I'm not. It just needs to be in a way where they can know how to access it. So one of the best places is on your website. You should have a trade-only section of your website where it has bottle shots, label images, fact sheets or cut sheets or wine descriptions, whatever you want to call them, and any other information like accolades and awards or technical information about the products. All that stuff needs to be available to them. But don't think because you got up in front of the salespeople physically and tasted a bunch of your products and gave them a bunch of information. It's not going to make any difference at all. So you're going to have to figure out new ways to get this information. But besides, the distributor they're not set up to take your education and information and go out and make new placements. Those days are just long gone. You got to accept it. Now, the fifth thing these distributors are not going to say to your face is if you pay us for new distribution incentives, don't expect those new placements to stick. This is a real shock for a lot of people because, it's a bit of I don't know what you would call it. It's just a game, right? It's a big game. The distributors use suppliers' incentive money to help supplement the pay that they give to their salespeople. Most salespeople live off, a big chunk of their income is living off these new distribution incentives. But a supplier needs to understand that this is one of the worst things you can do with your money because those placements don't stick. Part of the game is if you're a distributor sales rep, you've got a group of accounts where you can flip products in and out in order to take advantage of various incentives. So there's a lot of what we call churn. And I have a great video about churn. I'll put a link in the description. You should definitely go check that out. But this churn is necessary to accommodate all of the different incentives that are available to a particular sales rep. So it's really just not the kind of strategy that it used to be. And distributors are not going to tell you to your face, you pay all that money for new distribution and within a week or two, it's gone. Some of it sticks, yes. And some of you suppliers watching this video will say, well, enough of it sticks to make it worthwhile. You're delusional. Go and check your depletion information by account. You'll see that a lot of it doesn't stick. So there you have it. 5 things they won't say to your face. Probably a lot more than 5. In fact, if you think of some things, put it in the comments below. I read all the comments and I also answer every question that's typed in there, so don't be shy about asking questions. Here's the bottom line. You've got to accept this new reality. There's too many brands, not enough distributors. It's not a function of motivation or education. It's a function of capabilities. No one can sell that many brands. The bottom line, the upshot here, is the burden of building sales and distribution has shifted from the distributor back to the supplier. If it's going to be, it's up to me. That's how you've got to think about this. Think of your distributors as logistics companies. They hold your inventory in their warehouse, they deliver it to the accounts that you and your team have sold to, and in a best case scenario, they come out and match your sales team's efforts. That's the new reality. You got to open your eyes. It's a new day. I hope this video has been helpful. If you want more information on this topic, I want you to visit winesalesstimulator.com. We've got training resources, webinars, case studies, downloadable content. I like to think that our resources that are available at winesalesstimulator.com are exactly what the industry needs to accept new reality and to make adjustments to survive and thrive in the new reality. So go check it out.